Hi, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
And this is Northwest Brew Talk. Welcome to Northwest Brew Talk, the number one podcast on Washington beer. This is episode number 66. Each and every week, we promote the Washington brewing industry by talking to those people involved in drinking Washington beer. If you like to drink Washington beer, learn about the people behind it on our show. With over 300 breweries, we try to highlight as many as possible every episode. If you're new to the show, we suggest you check out our back catalog with some great interviews and lots of Washington beer. This week, we have an interview with Badass Backyard Brewing, our brew news, and local music from Quarter Monkey.
If you have any comments or questions, feel free to send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at nwbrewtalk and on Facebook at facebook.com/nwbrewtalk. If you like the show and want to support us, share our link and tell your friends on social media. It takes just a few to start a revolution. So let's start by opening our first beer tonight. This is from Reuben's Brews in Seattle. They're open 7 days a week and are family friendly. We're drinking the official Seattle Beer Week beer, Daily Pale. This hop-forward session IPA with an aroma and flavor profile driven by citrus and passion fruit with kiwi and honeydew undertones. Yum. It's light in the body but balanced and focused on hop flavor and aroma with a crisp, clean finish. 4.9% ABV, 55 IBUs, and an untapped rating of 3.95.
All right. Nice golden color. Great citrus aroma.
Oh, yeah. You can smell all the different fruits in there, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely very fruity smelling.
Nice white head on it. Oh, it does have it's got a little bit of a bite right at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely.
But it dissipates pretty quick. And
you get those fruity. It's really the aftertaste. Mm-hmm. You can taste all the different fruity flavors in your mouth. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I like it.
In a session, yeah, you can definitely. It's got a nice flavor, and you can definitely do a few of them. And the can is very cool. It's like a retro, like 1940s newspaper cartoon thing. And, the Pacific Northwest Beer Mecca, Seattle Beer Week 2016. Very cool. Like it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And the beer is good, too. It's got a nice flavor. Yes, it does. All right. And now, on to this week's Brew News.
Topping this week's news, the 2016 Craft Brewers Conference concluded last week with the World Beer Cup Awards. 4 Washington breweries took home medals in this year's ceremony with 96 categories and nearly 6,600 entries from 55 countries. In Category 13, Rye Beer, Lewitt Brewing took silver for their Grimlock. In Category 25, Wood and Barrel-Aged Beers, Wander Brewing from Bellingham took home bronze for their Wild Warehouse. You can hear them on episode 63. In Category 48, Australian or International Style Pale Ale, Reuben's Brews took home the gold for Triumvirate. And Category 81, Barley Wine Stale Ale, Boundary Bay took home silver for their Old Bounder. In an impressive showing, 2 breweries from Bellingham took home medals. Congrats to all 4 breweries.
Awesome. Washington breweries kicking butt again.
Yeah.
55 countries, 6,600. I mean, that's a lot of beers.
Yeah, it is.
And 2 of them from Bellingham alone.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
They've got, 10 breweries up there?
Yeah, that's about it.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. The 8th annual Seattle Beer Week takes place starting this Thursday, May 12th, and it runs through May 22nd. The opening ceremony takes place again at Reuben's Brews, who brewed this year's official beer that we're drinking tonight. Events take place across Seattle every day during the beer week, including several fests, a marathon, beer tastings, and much more. We went to several events last year and had a good time, so definitely check it out. Visit SeattleBeerWeek.com for locations and events every day. Not to be outdone by Seattle, the second annual Spokane Craft Beer Week starts on Monday, May 16th. The event runs through Sunday, May 22nd, with the kickoff party taking place at Perry Street Brewery on Thursday. Collaboration beers will be released at various events, with events taking place across Spokane. Looks like another great time. More details can be found at SpokaneCraftBeerWeek.com. And if that isn't enough for you, on Friday, May 20th, Iron Horse Brewery is hosting the Eastern Washington Brew Fest. Over 13 breweries from the 509 will pour beer, along with food, raffles, and live music. Each ticket gets you a custom glass, 5 tasting tickets, and 1 raffle ticket. Lots of events coming up. Good stuff going on.
Pike Brewing Company is presenting the 5th annual Women in Beer. This event features women involved in the Northwest craft beer industry and will feature over 35 local breweries, cider makers, cheese makers, restaurants, chocolatiers, and more, and takes place on Monday, May 16th, 2016, from 5 to 9 p.m. at Pike Brewing Company, and benefits Planned Parenthood of the Great Northwest and Hawaiian Islands. Aslan Brewing in Bellingham will be celebrating their 2nd anniversary on Saturday, May 21st. They'll be transforming their parking lot into a beer garden, complete with lawn games, face painting, and an outdoor bar. There will be live music all day, and there will be a late-night performance by the Bellingham Circus Guild and Jewels of the Blue Moon.
And lastly this week, our new book, Washington Beer, arrives on May 30th. We have 3 confirmed events for June 4th and another possible 2. We will let you know as the time approaches. On Saturday, June 4th, the book will officially be launched at the amazing one-day book release event. Starting at 11 a.m., we'll be in Bellingham at Chuckanut Brewery for a book signing. Chuckanut will also be offering a free tour of their brewery at 11:30, so this is a win-win for everyone. At 3 p.m., we will be at Populux Brewing in Ballard for a short history talk and book signing. And at 7 p.m., we'll be in the Microbrewery Museum at Pike Brewing in Seattle for another signing. We will also be at the Washington Brewers Festival Father's Day weekend, signing books and promoting Northwest Brew Talk. It'll be a great place for brewers to stop by for an interview. If you're interested in carrying our book or hosting an event, contact us today. And that's it for the Brew News this week.
Welcome back to Northwest Brew Talk. If you want to submit news to Northwest Brew Talk, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. If you've not yet subscribed to our podcast, why not do it now? It's free, available anywhere you listen to podcasts, including iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio.
All right, now let's talk to Charlene from Badass Backyard Brewing. All right, Charlene, why don't you tell me, first off, where the name for your brewery came from?
That's a good question. So we were trying to find something, obviously, that wasn't already out there, and I was out dirt biking with some buddies and outrode them a little bit. And so when we got done and stopped for a break, they were like, "You're such a badass." And so then I was like, "Hey, that's an idea." And then it's obviously in the backyard, so we went with it.
So it's not too complicated.
Nope.
No. All right. So you had been a home brewer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how long were you home brewing?
I was home brewing for about 4 years before we got into this. I met a guy that knew how to do it and had a whole system probably about 6 years ago now. And he taught me pretty much everything I know. So I started out with all grain. I never did the extract and then moved up. So I kind of got lucky there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good way to learn right away. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you got some good experience right at the beginning. So what type of beer
did he let me use his stand, so that worked out really good.
Oh, yeah. So what kind of beer?
I practiced on that for years, and then we got our own.
So what kind of beer were you brewing at that time?
Pretty much a little bit of everything. The darker stuff in the winter and lighter stuff in the summer, but we were kind of experimenting with all kinds of different recipes and just kind of learning how the different grains work and all that stuff.
So your friend had been brewing for a few years already, and so he was pretty experienced at that point?
Yeah, he was pretty pretty experienced for the most part. He had the experience of actually doing it, and I was doing all the reading and learning about the actual science behind it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So what made you decide that you wanted to open a brewery?
A couple of friends of mine had a few events one summer, like a housewarming party and a wedding, and asked me to have the beer there. And so, of course, we took the beer, and everybody just kind of, they were all like, you need to open a brewery. This is like the best beer I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. So I looked into it because a few people were asking me to start doing weddings.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my original plan, was to just get licensed so that I could do weddings and events.
Right.
And then I found out that the shop was zoned commercial, so I called the state, and they're like, yeah, you can have a tap room. I was like, right on.
Oh, okay.
So I went for it.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to put everything together and finally to get it open then?
It took about 14 months from, submitting all the paperwork and then actually opening the doors.
So you're in the backyard, so you don't have like open hours, so you have limited hours, right?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. And have your neighbors been receptive to it, or have you, run into any issues with that?
Yeah, they're very supportive. So they come over and drink all the time, and
that's always helpful.
Always asking to stop by for growler fills, and
well, that's good.
Yeah.
So obviously, everybody's liking what you're brewing. So what kind of beers are you brewing now?
We have, your basic like summer blonde ale, and then an amber, a brown, a stout, an IPA, a raspberry wheat. We made a Goza for the Pink Boots collaboration.
Okay.
Working on a Pilsner right now, and then thinking about doing a blood orange for summer.
Okay.
Yeah, we just like to experiment. We just expanded our tap tower, so we'll be able to have 10 beers instead of 6, so that's going to be awesome.
Wow. So, how big is your system itself?
It's only a half barrel.
Okay. So how many fermenters do you have then?
We've got about, when we get into a pinch, we can use 15-gallon kegs.
Okay.
And I just convert them into them. But as far as actual fermenters go, we've got 7, I think, 6.
Okay. So
yeah, I've been pricing out 1-barrel systems, and then we've also been exploring the town for a tap room. So
okay. So you're looking at so you're doing well enough. You opened just last year, right?
Yep, August 1st.
Oh, okay, so not even a year yet, and but doing well enough that you think that a tap room will work then, huh?
Yeah, we can't keep up, obviously, with the half barrel system. So
right.
We're brewing quite a bit, and we're only open 6 hours a week. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm looking at moving the tap room off-site, keeping the brewery in the backyard, and then, getting the bigger system, and then eventually we'll start growing the system as we can afford it. But my main goal with this whole project was to not incur any debt for it. So.
Right. Yeah, that's a good thing. So just keep going at I guess putting money back into the business as it's growing.
Yep, exactly.
And so far that's working out for you, obviously.
Yeah.
So about how many barrels did you do last year, do you know?
Yeah, we only did 14 barrels last year.
Okay. And what's your goal for this year?
I think we've already doubled that. So
really? Wow.
Yeah. So we've been busy. I don't really have a goal. We're just trying to keep up with demand is the main goal. So
right. So
not run out.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something you don't want to happen. I know I was at one brewery and they had one of their own beers on tap. So that's definitely not a good thing.
Wow. Fun, huh?
Yeah. They were in between everything, so.
Yeah.
So, how many days a week are you brewing then?
We brew 2 to 3 days a week, and then I've got a business partner that helps out with the brewing, and we work opposite shifts. So I'll brew in the mornings, one batch, and then she'll come and brew the next batch in the evening so we can get a double batch out of each day. So it's kind of like we're brewing 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay. All right. And you still work a full-time job?
Yeah, we both do.
Yeah. So that must be fun, huh?
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how long that lasts.
But the brewery is paying for itself at this point, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So
Yeah.
what beer seems to be your biggest sellers?
Probably the IPA and raspberry wheat, but everything really sells pretty comparably. I thought there would be a few that we would just brew all the time and then, to keep up, and then have the others just as a choice, but they all really do run out about the same time, so makes the scheduling game for brewing a little bit more fun.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, if you knew that the
Figure out what to brew next.
Yeah, exactly. If you knew what was going to be going at the same time all the time.
Exactly, yep.
Well, that's a good thing then if your beer is doing that well, that they all just sell, because that's, a lot of times breweries, even bigger breweries, it's like 1 or 2 beers is their big thing, and then everything else fills in.
That's totally what I expected. But.
Yeah. And did you expect it to be like the IPA too?
I actually didn't. I'm not a huge IPA fan, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time on that recipe.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be, the stout or something, but I mean, they all pretty much tie, the stout and the IPA and the raspberry wheat, but
right.
Yeah, so that was a good surprise.
Yeah, definitely. So you prefer dark beers yourself?
Yeah, they're just fun to mess with the grains, and there's so much to them that you can change and go for, mouthfeel and stuff like that I had fun writing that one. So.
Yeah. So your years doing the all grain and everything gave you a lot of experience in writing recipes, right?
Yeah, definitely. I also use Beersmith just to make sure everything is dialed out accurately. But
right. So are there, when you decide you're going to do something, do you just look something up, or do you go try some other beers to see what other people's taste like, or how do you decide to go about it?
When I decide on a style, I just do a whole bunch of research on that style and find out, what it's supposed to taste like and the qualities and characteristics it has, and then I pick the grains accordingly and go from there.
So grains and hops and stuff, do you have anything that you specifically like to use, or is it all just based on what recipes you're working on?
Yeah, it just depends on the style. So, and then obviously what's available in the hop industry. So,
right,
they're sometimes hard to come by. But
yeah, being a small brewer, I'm sure you're not getting tons of them.
Yeah, it's not very conducive for us to do a hop contract, so we just kind of get what's out there. But
right.
So far, we've been pretty lucky in getting pretty consistent hops. So
okay, that's cool. So
yeah.
Okay, so goal is to get a tap room. Are you looking at opening that maybe this year?
That's the plan. Yeah. I'm not sure. It's kind of a big jump, so.
Sure.
Yeah, I just decided that we should start looking a couple of weeks ago, and we found a few spaces we're interested in, and we've been talking to the managing companies and everything, so trying to figure out what would work and what's conducive for us and what the cost is going to be to get in there and all that fun stuff.
Right. So you do that, and then what would your goal be down the road to slowly grow the brewery to a larger size, then larger capacity?
Yeah, exactly. So if we move the tap room out, that would give us a ton of room in there for brewing equipment. So we could start looking at, I call it big kid equipment.
Yeah.
Because we're essentially on a glorified homebrew system right now. So,
right.
I'd look into glycol jacketed fermenters and all that fun stuff. So,
okay. Would you look at bringing in other partners with money, or taking a loan out, or just doing it as the money comes in?
Ideally, there would be no partners. I've not personally had experience with it, but I know a lot of people who have, and it typically, in my experience, it's turned into a nightmare. So I don't want to go that route if at all possible. I'm not completely opposed to it, down the road, but at least for now, I'm still learning how to run a business and what all that looks like. So that's part of the fun for me. But yeah, I would, in the perfect world, I would not take out a loan. If I needed extra money, I would probably self-fund it.
Okay.
And then, pay myself back.
Sure.
But,
so it sounds like this is your first business venture you've ever done?
Personally, yep.
Yeah. So
my parents have owned a business, so they still do, and so I was kind of raised in it, so I've seen it. But.
Okay, so you have some idea. So you have probably a little bit more than some people who decide they want to start a business because they're a great home.
Yeah, I learned accounting and payroll and all that stuff at a pretty young age, and did all that. So I've kind of got an advantage there, which is nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I think that a lot of people, especially home brewers who think they've got great beer and all their friends are telling them that, they want to start a business and they don't realize it's a business, and they miss out on
work.
Yeah, they miss out on all that part. We were just talking to one of the other places in Woodinville. It's a nano brewery, but he's working 6 days a week, 12-hour days right now. And
wow.
That's a lot of work. And, it hasn't taken a pay yet in 4 years. So
yep, exactly.
Yeah,
wow.
People have to realize that it's unless you get super lucky, I think that, a lot of people don't realize that a brewery's cool, but it's still going to be work.
Absolutely, yep.
So
that's the truth.
Yeah. So and it's great that you have some of that background already. So you already had some idea on crunching numbers and stuff that a lot of people probably have no idea how to do.
Yeah, I'm lucky there.
Yeah. So what any styles that you haven't done yet that you'd like to try?
Oh, there's tons.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm definitely gonna be. Once we get the tap room, I'll be able to play around with the brewing aspect a little bit better. Because right now the tap room takes up 2/3 of the shop.
Oh, okay.
And it's just kind of cramped in the brewing area. And it's I want to expand, get a microscope, start messing with yeast, doing all that stuff. So
nice.
We're just kind of waiting until we're able to expand our hours, and everybody's begging us to be open on more days a week and stuff like that. So we'll get that going, and then I'll start really messing around with some. I'll keep our main 6, and then I'll start adding in a few. I think just experiment with all kinds of different types, styles. I think it'd be fun.
All right, cool. So then at this point in time, you're not looking at doing any distribution down the road yet, right?
We're in a couple spots right now. There's a bar just down the road that's in Millwood here, about 2 blocks from us, called Trentondale, and they gave us a handle, so
okay.
We put on kind of whatever beer we have.
Right.
And then Steady Flow's a growler fill station out in the valley, and they've been putting us on a couple times, so that was nice.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm getting in and out, but
so
if we distribute, it'll be us distributing. So.
Right, self-distributing.
For a while.
Yeah. You definitely have to have enough to, especially if you get a tap room, you're gonna have to have enough to keep that going.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Right.
If we got our tap room, we'll be really slammed brewing. So.
Yeah. So all those friends of yours that wanted to that like your beer and stuff, are they all coming in and visiting your location then after you opened it up?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit actually. They're very supportive, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The cool part was when strangers came in, that no one knew, no one brought in. They loved the beer, and now they're Mug Club members.
Oh,
that's probably the coolest part of the whole thing so far. Is like, wow, and now we've got regulars that we've never met before, and everybody knows everybody, and it's just kind of a big party every weekend. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that is cool when people that you don't know come along, because I write Same thing when somebody comes along and says, "Hey, saw that or I read that you don't know."
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah.
So when
Cool feeling.
yeah, it is. It makes you feel good, especially if people, if they like it,
Yeah, definitely.
That's even better.
That's always a bonus.
Yeah. So when you get some new people in that maybe they're not craft beer drinkers, what do you like to point them towards?
I usually start them at the lower end of the spectrum, the blonde or the amber, something a little bit less hoppy, more smooth.
Right. With flavor.
They usually get pretty brave after the second or third visit, and they'll start ordering flights and try them all, and it's pretty fun to watch that progression.
Yeah, definitely. I think once people realize that there's actually flavor in beer,
exactly.
It makes them want to try more because they realize it doesn't all have to taste like yellow water. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So if you're not brewing or if you're out somewhere, what kind of beer would you go for?
I usually go for the stouts or the. I'm not really a huge IPA fan, but lately I'm kind of getting into them. I hate to admit, because I've always been, they're such a fad.
Yeah, they haven't gone away though.
But I like the smash beers just because you can. It's fun to try and guess what's in them before they tell you.
Okay.
Stuff like that. And yeah, the IPAs for the same reason, trying to figure out, okay, what hops are in here. I can smell this one and I can taste this one, and so that part of it's fun for me. But yeah, usually wherever I go, I always get a flight and try most of them. So. Okay,
cool. So, you've got a small place. What's been one of your biggest obstacles or a problem that you've come across?
Parking.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Yep, that's definitely the biggest hurdle, and probably the main reason I'm looking for a tap room off-site.
Right.
I have a driveway back to the shop, but I can only fit about 6 cars in that, and then we have a commercial building on the corner that's right next door to us, and for a while they were allowing us to use their parking lot, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. But now they're saying that we're too busy and their customers can't find a place to park, which is a problem.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, and I think it's time we're starting to get big enough, and people our name's getting out there and they want to try our beer. So we're gonna do what we can to make it available to them.
Right. So did you expect it to grow this quickly?
Absolutely not.
No, really?
No. I mean, I like it. I like the beer, and my friends like the beer, but that doesn't mean that anybody else is going to. So
right.
I guess I kind of went into it with a preconceived notion, so to speak, that not that nobody would like it, but that, some would, some wouldn't. I didn't expect everybody that comes in pretty much to rant and rave about it and then bring 10 people back with them next time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
like, no, don't bring your friends.
Well, how many people can you
brew more if you do that?
Yeah, how many people can you put in your tap room?
I think we've had around 20 or so,
okay.
But like I said, parking's an issue, so.
So they need to you need to bus them in, right?
Yeah, exactly. I posted on Facebook last week, yeah, we're open, but it's bicycle parking only. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so that I could see the parking. I've heard that from other breweries too, home breweries that or ones in neighborhoods that's some of the neighbors. Then it becomes a big issue. But yeah, and then next thing you know, your neighbors aren't your friends anymore.
Yep, we don't want that. So
yeah, definitely. So I know, like you said that you and your friends liked your beer, but what do you think makes your beer different than other breweries?
I don't know about other breweries. I think the smaller system probably makes it easier to focus on, the small things that make a really big difference. But we do have an automated system, so we're hitting our target temperature every single time.
Okay.
Our mash tun is under heat, so it stays constant throughout the entire mash. We can raise it or lower it, step mash. We're always checking for conversion. We really focus. Obviously, we don't have the quantity, so our focus is by far the quantity or quality.
Right.
So, that's why I want to get a microscope and really have fun with that and culture up some yeast and stuff like that. But in the meantime, that automated system, I think, is probably one of the main reasons people know what they're getting when they order a beer, and it's the same every time. And on a small system, I think that's kind of the most difficult thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because there's so many variables when you're only getting 15 gallons at a time that to be able to make sure they're the same every time, it's pretty important.
Right. So where did you and your partner come together? Were you friends before this?
We actually both worked for the county at 911.
Oh, okay.
So that's where we met. Yeah.
And she was already brewing too?
Nope.
Oh,
she wasn't.
So you taught her?
Yeah.
Nice.
So she's only been brewing for about 3 or 4 years now. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, Shirley.
Yeah, she's really getting into it. I kind of had some control issues in that factor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I rolled my truck at the end of January, and I couldn't walk for a couple months.
Oh.
So I didn't have a choice. I had to hand it over.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would crutch out and help her out here and there. Really wish I would have trained her better than I had.
Oh, yeah.
But she did awesome, and she just really took to it, and now she's reading books, and she's really into it. So she's hooked, I think.
Yeah, awesome.
So she's still doing most of the brewing now at this point.
Oh, so you're okay with the control now?
Yeah, I got over it.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, it took something dramatic to do that.
Took some persuasion. Yeah, I definitely wasn't going to let go on my own. But
yeah, I know that's tough. That's tough sometimes. All right. Yep. Awesome. Well, Charlene, thanks very much for joining us today. Appreciate it. Thanks to Charlene from Badass Backyard Brewing for joining us today. We will be right back after a local music break from Quarter Monkey.
The stars all night and day, try to reach the end infinitely. A machine breaks down, watch you start to ask, sticking your nose to the ground, figuring out what's been going down. You do what you want and don't care what I think. You're looking at me that way. Now I'll just be what I'll be. Look out! Look out! Better to just leave it alone, 'cause this job ain't done till they say it's done. You can count the stars all night and day, but I still won't give no secrets away. You know what I want, it's just a little piece, safe place to rest my mind at ease. Look out!
That was KYSA from Quarter Monkey. You can check them out at quartermonkey.com. If you want to have your music played on Northwest Brew Talk, contact us today.
We're going to have a quick discussion about one of the companies in our state. Last year, Elysian Brewing became part of AB InBev. And they are celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. And as the story came up, I thought that we should put it in our news. And
Michelle disagreed.
So we had a discussion about it. And I said that since they were a craft brewer and since they were in our state, that, at least it deserved to be mentioned in the news because they're having a big party with punk bands and stuff. And what did you think?
They're having a big party, so everybody in Seattle needs to go. No, I think that they sold out, and while that's perfectly acceptable, and I don't think that they are horrible people for doing it, I think that excludes them from the craft beer community that is so tight-knit around here. I mean... And kind of what our show is about. Exactly. I mean, we're here to promote these small, local Washington breweries that people don't necessarily just know about for no reason, All right. So you go in these small neighborhoods. You go into these neighborhoods and you see these people who are working at this brewery who are brewing this beer out of the love of beer, not because they, want to make all kinds of money. And I think some might. Well, absolutely some might. But for the most part, these guys are home brewers who still have full-time jobs who decided they wanted to start a brewery because it's what they love. Well, and you can just listen into our last interview with Charlene. She has a full-time job. She's running this out of... Most of them do. Most of them have full-time jobs. Out of her backyard, and... And I like I said, I don't think that Elysian is any kind of, bad guy for selling out. But they did. It was a business. They made that choice, and that's fine. But I don't think that they still deserve to be a part of that community. And after talking about it, and after seeing another post today from someone else, I kind of... I understand, and for the most part, I agree. I was just thinking that, it was news, and it was related to the beer industry, and they still brew beer, and they still sell a ton of beer. And they're going to get tons and tons of people at their party, and I'm sure they still have plenty of fans of their beer because it's still their beer. It's still that craft taste. Right. It's not that they're selling Budweiser now or anything, but... Like I said, I think that we should be here to promote the small guys, and not even small, but the craft people. Right, and if you've got a comment on this, Twitter at NW Brew Talk or Facebook NW Brew Talk, feel free to chime in on this subject. We might even post something up there, see what people think. Anyhow, just thought that you guys would be interested in knowing some of the things that go on in the background here, other than children crying. But all right. On to our next beer and final beer of the night. Our second beer of the night is brewed by Counterbalance Brewing Company in Seattle. And the beer we're drinking is their Kushetka Russian Imperial Stout, a big, bold beer with roasted malty goodness and just the right hop balance. A pleasure for your tongue. It's been said that writing about music is like dancing about architecture. This beer is the music. 8.9% ABV, 65 IBUs, and an untapped rating of 3.89. This is black. This is solid black. You cannot see any light through this. No, I can't see any light through this beer. It's got a nice head on it. It's got a nice... Oh, I love that smell. A nice smell to it. You get all those typical stout scents of chocolates and all that, and how does that taste? Love it. Really? Not surprised at all. Really? Oh yeah, you get a lot of that chocolate flavor, especially the aftertaste. You can really taste the chocolate. Yeah, you get a lot of those flavors. I grabbed this because it was the first Counterbalance one that I've seen in the store, so I thought we'd give it a shot. You picked a good beer for you. It does have a good flavor, though. Coats the inside of your mouth. A lot of that chocolate. It seems like a lot of that. What else is that? Yeah, and a lot more chocolate, I think, than some of them have, which, of course, I love even more. Yeah.
But yeah, it's it does have a good flavor. It's not my favorite style, but it tastes like I'm chewing a candy bar. But that's
how can you not love that?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's actually not a bad beer at all.
I want you to give me fresh beer. You serious?
On to this week's fresh beer. This will be on tap at Rockfish Grill in Anacortes, their Czech Pilsner, Bohemian-style lager with light golden color from pale and Munich malts, distinct hop character from Saaz hops, and lagered for several weeks to provide smoothness and subtle malt flavor. 5% ABV, 35 IBUs, and an untapped rating of 3.38.
And as every episode, this brings us to the end of this episode of Northwest Brew Talk.
Make sure you tune in next week when we're going to have a chat with Paper Street Brewing.
This show is written and produced by Michelle Rizzo and myself.
If you want to contact us, feel free to email us at nwbrewtalk@gmail.com or on Twitter at nwbrewtalk. Our theme music is from Gilbert Neal at gilbertneal.com.
Until next time, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
Stay hoppy, my friends.
It's light in the body, but balanced and focused on hop flavor and aroma with a clips ploops.
It's very crisp. It's a very crisp one.